Hi, my name is Amy. For those who do not know me, I'm a paranormal investigator. I have a club with over 550 people in it, and I take everybody out on free adventures. I also have read over 350 tarot card readings for people, friends, strangers. Um, Pretty much just all around awesome. I try to help everybody. Regardless if I know you or not, I would pretty much give the shirt off my back to make sure that everybody's good. Uh, my paranormal club is based out of Ravenna, Ohio. I think last time I made a video, I didn't have a job. Uh, I've been working for Circle K since about July 2019. I worked at the one here in Ravenna / Dunkin' Donuts for about 4 months, and I loved it. My friend, the assistant manager, she helped me get the job, and I went over and beyond to make sure the place was always up to par. My customers loved me. Everybody knew me. Felt almost famous. um, just making everybody laugh. This is an awesome person. I can talk to anybody. Doesn't matter how old you are. Um, Pretty much can get along with you or find some type of common core, you know. Um, that place ended up doing me really wrong. Right before Thanksgiving, I felt obligated to quit. That's what happens when you get a new person in and they want to be you. Yeah, sorry. There's only one me. Anyway, yeah, I ended up fighting for 2 weeks. Yep, I called every corporate person I could find. I told everybody my story, and I even called Canada. Just in case you guys don't know, Circle K is a Canada-based company. That's where it originated, maybe. But, yeah, eventually there was a nice man who offered me to still work for the company with all those months under my belt. So I didn't lose my raise. I didn't have to start all over. But I did have to go to another location. I didn't want another place in Ravenna at all. I kept hearing bad things. Just if it's not car accidents out in front of the parking lot every single day. um, just some of the other employees that work other places, we don't see eye to eye, or we don't agree on ethics. Anyway, I transferred to Ritztown, and they didn't really need me. I did an outstanding job, but they didn't need me. So one day I went to go fill in at another store out in Atwater, and they really appreciated me. I did their whole beer cooler, and they offered me 3 days a week just to come in and do beer cooler. So now, after picking up a few shifts here and there, I'm doing better. Like, I'm about to have a fat paycheck, finally. Yeah, it's a couple weeks after Christmas. Christmas was tough. My daughter definitely felt that. Um, but I finally feel appreciated. I wanted to tell you guys a little story that happened to me the other night when I was working on my day off, a different shift than I usually do, second shift. Um, a man walked in, and he looked lost. We'll call him Mr. Isaacs. Uh, Very nice man. But, yeah, I didn't know the town. I didn't recognize the name of the town he was looking for. It was Bristolville, Ohio. So I jumped on my Google Maps, and I tried to get him directions the best I could to at least my old store, where I knew they could probably better direct him from there. I said goodbye to him and good luck, and about an hour later, he comes up to my counter, and he says he's lost. And I said, oh, no. You're going to Bristolville, right? And he said, oh my God, how did you know? I was like, because you were in here an hour before now and you were asking me for directions. And he went, oh no. I was like, yeah, I think you went around in a big circle or something. I got back out my phone. I thought maybe I'd give him some directions in error. So after looking, I realized it was not my error, but I thought that maybe writing down the words of the directions other than drawing him a little map this time might help. So I tried it again. I wrote directions on how to get to Ravenna from Atwater, and about 10 minutes later, he walked back in my store. And I was so glad to see him because I felt so bad for sending him away the second time. It was probably not the correct thing to do. He obviously didn't know where he was, and it was getting late. And I felt like my judgment to just send him again was not on point. But now that he's back, I offered to call State Highway Patrol because there's no actual police officers other than State Highway that take care of little towns around here. But they offered to come out from Brimfield, so it was going to be 15 minutes or so, but for some assistance. And during that time, I asked him some questions. I asked him if he had family that lived in Bristolville or that lived with him, and he said his son. And I was like, oh, good. I said, does he work? Do you think he's home right now? And he said, oh, he's probably working. He works really hard. And that made me smile to hear that he was proud of his son. But yeah, I asked him if he knew where he worked, and he said no. He could not remember. There's only one really big place out there in Middlefield where he would work, and I kind of could picture where it was, but I couldn't remember the name either. So we we talked about whether or not he had a cell phone, and he went to go reach for his upper pocket, but he didn't have a cell phone. He had a little notebook. And he was a very smart man for writing his son's number down. After he flipped through some pages and then flipped the whole thing over and flipped through more, he was eventually able to find his son Corey's number. And we called Corey and we discussed him maybe meeting his father out in Ravenna if the State Highway Patrol would allow him to follow them or something of the sorts. But eventually, after the State Highway had gotten there, they decided it was better for him just to travel all the way out to Atwater. Fair enough. So State Highway Patrol, the two officers stood there with the man, and Mr. Isaacs was so funny. He was telling, oh, no, I'm never gonna do this again. When I go home, I'm parking the truck. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm gonna gift the truck to my son. And I thought that was a sweet gesture. So sweet that I thought that I'd tell his son next time he called, in which he did, and I did. And he said, well, he'd already said that before. For quite a while now, he's been saying that he's going to give this truck to him, so it's probably not going to happen. And then he followed that up with, when they get home, he's going to remove the motor from the truck. I thought it was probably the best. We can't just take the keys away. We have to remove the whole entire motor, right? Well, with me, I'm a little bipolar. There's no middle with me, so that would be my next option. But yeah, I was happy to see the sun show up. Right before that, I asked Mr. Isaacs if he was thirsty or hungry. He had picked up a little Reese's egg and brought it up, and he asked me how much it was, and he pulled out change. And I said it was like $1 something, and he's like, oh, that seems rather expensive for this little egg. And although I agreed, I paid for it after he had put it back. I told him to pick that back up out of there. I paid for it. He's going to eat it. Earlier, when I'd asked him if he needed fuel, he said that he had $8 to put in his tank. So then I again reminded him, hey, you might want to put gas in your tank if you're going to be making that trip to Bristolville. He said he didn't have any money. And I'm like, no, you have $8 in your wallet. And he's like, really? and he pulls out his wallet and he looks to reveal $8. And he looked at me surprised. And I am a little psychic, and I thought about telling him that I knew that because I was psychic, but I was wrong. I felt like it was bad timing. So I skipped it, and I just let him know, you told me earlier, you know. But the son showed up, and officers talked to him for a little bit, and everything seemed sorted out, and the son got some gas, and I ended up giving Mr. Isaacs a big hug because he was such a sweet man. um, I wished him good luck, and his son came in and he shook my hand. I felt proud, and I'm just happy that Mr. Isaacs got to go home and lay in his bed. I mean, I figure 8, 9 o'clock at night is pretty late. And somebody had mentioned when I'd written a post about it on Facebook that it could be sundowners. And I didn't know what that meant at the time, but it seemed like people who are a little older that might have some type of condition, after it gets dark, they get a little bit more confused. Totally understandable. I'm sorry if you can hear all this dinging in the background. I'm obviously very popular. But yeah. While this is all going on, I do want to mention also I'd given somebody the antifreeze out of my car. Turns out that you can use windshield wiper fluid from Circle K. That's what my boss had told me. That some man swears by it. He only uses windshield wiper fluid instead of antifreeze. I guess it probably does the same thing. But yeah, I was happy to help him. He ended up driving into the parking lot because he was kind of overheated down the street. And so I saved 2 people, and I was able to get home safely, and I got this new job, and I'm just happy to help everybody. Also, I don't know if it was the same day or the next day, a tobacco rep had come in, and she was standing behind me as I was taking customers, and she was laughing. She was trying so hard not to laugh too. And at the end, she told me that if I kept suggestive selling the Cheez-Its, that we wouldn't have any left by the end of the month because that is how many I have sold. Yeah, we have this big deal. I guess we made a deal with Cheez-It Company. They're only $1 all month long, and every month after that until they're gone. We also got boxes of cereal on sale right now for $1 too. So that's pretty good. That's like 3 times cheaper than the dollar store. But yeah, she when she left, she went to my old store, and obviously, I missed my old employees, but some of them were there, and she was bragging about the really, really funny, amazing cashier, the new cashier at Atwater. And all of a sudden, my dude's eyes lit up. Oh my God, Amy? And he imitated me like, does she act like this? Gonna lead you in the battle? Da-da-da-da! And she's like, oh my God, you imitate her so well. How do you know? And he's like, because that's my girlfriend. And she's like, oh my God. She had no clue. So, yeah, pretty proud. I got a text message saying I was famous. I'm just really proud of me. And it's nice to see when other people are proud of me too. I did notice the other day that I talk about myself very highly. People tend to do that when they don't get that anywhere else, where people aren't over praising them or praising them at all. I mean, I don't mean to do it. It might even sound conceited. It's just, I'm proud. I help people all the time. I collect the carts at the dollar store so the cashier doesn't have to go out there and go round them up. She's got enough stuff to put back from all the people doing price checks. Like, this is a small town. I'm actually from the next town over, but I've lived a couple different places, and I seem to just kind of befriend the whole town. That's why I do tarot card readings and why I do free ghost hunting adventures. I don't think you should have to pay to learn about yourself. Um, I don't think you should have to pay to get a little bit of exercise, you know. But I am getting a lot of exercise now working at Circle K. I'm the beer cooler person. So I'm lifting 230 packs at a time, 15 trips in and out of the cooler, at least. Yeah, I actually found muscles on the fronts of my legs that I didn't even know I had. And I looked at them a couple days ago, and I actually have bruises on the muscles, meaning I definitely overworked myself. But even though I can't seem to walk very well after I work there, I still feel like accomplished. Every vendor comes in there, if they don't already know me or recognize me from another place, um, they want to know me. They re-ask me my name, and I feel like maybe one day I will be famous. I mean, no, it doesn't have to be on the front of the Record Courier or, you know, on the news or anything. Sometimes I wonder how many people are going to be at my funeral. And that's probably why I'm a ghost hunter. I'm terribly afraid to die, even though I've been reincarnated. And I know that. I got to see my first and my last life. I still am afraid to die. It's like I'm afraid to start over again. And although I hate to admit it, it seems like in my life, during this life, I've actually had to start over and over and over and over again. Just seems I seem to climb to the top of the hole I dig myself. All of a sudden, I'll drop kick myself back in there. It hasn't been so bad since I had a baby. I've seemed to grow up a little bit, be a little bit more responsible. People ask me when they see my daughter how old she is, and I say she's 11. And then they look at me and they say, "How old are you?" And I say 34, and they're like, "Holy crap." Because I don't act like I'm 34. I don't think I look like I'm 34. And my daughter's taller than half these people who are asking me, which makes it comical. I don't know. But I love my new job. I love my family. In the last video, I said I was looking to move. I think that was a couple years ago. I'm still here. Yeah, it turns out I have 0 credit. Yeah, when you rent to own a mobile home, you don't earn any credit. I've never had credit cards. I've never had anything. It turns out that having 0 credit is worse than having bad credit, because that means nobody even trusted you to give you anything. But it's not like I wasn't trusted. I just didn't ask for anything. I just figured, pay with cash. Bad idea. Um, so probably looking like at least another 6 months to a year before I'm out of here. Um, but until then, I'm still going to continue to be me, and I'm going to continue to be awesome. And now I got a job, so I can save up. Maybe I won't need credit. Maybe I can pay cash. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to me just ramble on. Crazy Amy here. But just stay tuned, because I think I'm going to make more videos more often. Bye.